Hey everyone, and welcome to the 6th day of our epic China trip. Today we're in Xi'an, going to visit the Terracotta Warriors. But first, we're going to go down and get some breakfast. We've just ordered ourselves a DiDi taxi using the Alipay app. The cost for about an hour's journey comes to about 125 yuan, which is about 12 or 13 pounds, which I think is an absolute bargain to get there, if I'm honest. He should be here in about 2 minutes. Well, that was really easy. The driver came within about 2 minutes of ordering it. When you first get into the car, you just need to type the 2 last digits of your mobile phone number into his phone just to confirm you're the correct person for the taxi. We should now be there in about an hour's time. There are a number of ways you could go to the Terracotta Warriors. We decided to just use a taxi because it's really convenient and it's not that expensive either. If you do want to save a little bit of money though, a lot of people do take the train, get off for a certain station, then I think it's bus number 2 which will take you directly to the site. But that takes longer. This taxi is really convenient and like I said, it's a reasonable price. So to save time, that's why we've done the taxi, and it's also just a lot easier to sit in the back seat. We've arrived. It took about an hour and 20 minutes to get here. The taxi driver's just dropped us off. Not exactly sure where we go, so we're following a tour group in front of us. Hopefully they're going to be going to the entrance. I've already pre-booked my tickets via trip.com. The price was about £13 each for all of us. You are able to book them online on the official website and through the WeChat app as well. But unfortunately, to do that, you need a Chinese mobile number, which obviously we haven't got. And I would have really liked to have done it that way, because if I'd booked via the official app, I would have just paid for one ticket for 120 yuan, and you get children for free as well. So I wouldn't be paying for Matthew and Holly. But because I had to buy it from a ticket broker like trip.com, I had to buy a separate ticket for each one because I couldn't find anywhere that offered children's tickets for free. So this looks like it's going to be the main entrance, judging by the amount of people and the lines. I think they limit the amount of numbers to about 65,000 people per day. So it's going to be extremely busy. That's why we're here as soon as the place opens at 8:30 in the morning. For already, I'm going to say there's hundreds and hundreds of people here. So we're here just as it opened. And it's still a large queue in front of us. We don't actually have physical tickets. The ticket itself is linked to our passport number. So fingers crossed, everything goes okay. We just show them our passports like we do for everything here in China, and they'll let us straight in. So we've made it through security. We scanned our passports, like I said earlier. The lady pointed out that we didn't have to pay for Holly, and Matthew could have been a student. She didn't even scan Holly's passport. But like I said, there's nothing we can do if we didn't book on the app. And I think we're going to take this golf cart to the first pit. It'll save us maybe about a 15-minute walk, and I believe it's only 5 yuan each, so it shouldn't be an issue. So we've got our tickets for the golf carts. Should save us about a 15-minute walk. I know it's a bit lazy, but it's good to get ahead of the crowd. So we're on the golf cart. Like I said, this should save us about a 15-minute walk. Again, I know it's really lazy, but just to get ahead of that crowd, be good. So we're one of the first people into the pits. So the plan is today is to go into pit 1 first. That's the big main one. It's the size of an aircraft hangar. And I believe there's up to 6,000 Terracotta Warriors in there. They're not all on display. That's how many have been found in pit 1. I think, though, there may be about 3,000 Terracotta Warriors in there on display, but don't quote me on that. Then the plan will be to go to pit 3, and then end of all the pits will be pit 2. From there, we're then going to take another bus to the horses and other something mausoleum a bit further away. But I hope it's going to be a really fun day, because I've been wanting to see these for, if I'm honest, decades, because it's one of the most historic sites in the world. Cliché, thank you. So we've just got off the golf cart and now we're going to head towards pit 1. We're just following the crowd because I assume that's where everybody's going. It looks like another ticket checkpoint ahead. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Can we have 3 audio guides, please? Yes. Shishay, thank you.
Play,
Yes.
stop.
Okay.
Yeah. This is 1, 3, 2.
Yeah. Okay.
This 1.
1.
GPS.
Perfect. Thank you. Shishay. Because we don't have a guide, I've actually paid for an audio guide. So it's in the English language. It's actually GPS enabled as well, so it knows where we're actually moving. It's quite loud as well. I'm going to turn the volume down a bit. So this is the remains of the chariots down there. All the wooden chariots were burnt or rotted. These are the remains of the wheel and chariot body. Down by there. We've got some horses down there. And we can see, we got in just before the main crowds arrived. You can see where we were standing now, which was almost pretty clear. It's now starting to get really busy. And if you look, each side has got quite a few people going along. Less people in that direction, but the problem is they're empty pits that way. So this is where the main area. So we're going to keep walking along pit 1 down to the other end. It's really fascinating though. Like I said, I wanted to see these for years. You can see that each row is actually divided up with these walls in between. Why they're there? They were there to support the logs above them, which was the ceiling and the roof. On top of that, the ground went above it. Problem is, why everything got destroyed. So all these Terracotta Warriors, when they were discovered, were all crushed. That's because plunderers, thieves, actually came into this tomb and stole all the weapons that the warriors had. So originally they had real swords, bows, spears, daggers, etc. But then when the people came in to actually steal it, they set fire to everything, and that caused the logs of the ceiling to catch fire and caused the whole of the tomb to just collapse and crush all the Terracotta Warriors. And when they were discovered in 1974 by a farmer digging a well, he actually found some clay shards of the warriors, and that was the first time these were discovered. Nobody knew they were here for almost 2,000 years. And it has become probably the biggest archaeological find of the last century, as well as with Tutankhamun's tomb, of course. And that pit there, that section there, everything crushed, so they haven't started to be restored yet. So what happens at night, this is when the archaeologists come in and actually start work. So they're not really here during the day, they work during the night because the tourists are here, obviously, during the day. And this is one of the biggest tourist sites in the whole of China. So even though we've got the audio guides and it is GPS enabled, so when we've just walked by here, the next section just started. If I'm honest, all three of us aren't really listening to it very much. Oh, by here as well, there's a lot of broken Terracotta Warriors, if you can see that. So that's how they're discovered. So in pit 1, there's actually 27 different excavation sections, and they work on each one at a separate time. So they'll probably start on section 1, work through that whole section before moving on to section 2, which is why just the front is complete at the moment, because it's going to take them decades to actually renovate and put together all these Terracotta Warriors behind me that have been found in this pit. So like I said, it's estimated that there's over 6,000 Terracotta Warriors just in this one pit alone, which is a huge task to put all those together, almost like a jigsaw puzzle. And you don't know which one belongs to which warrior. But you see down here just how wide these kind of rows are as well. It is really fascinating. I'm really enjoying our time here, probably more than Holly. I think Matthew finds it interesting as well. So this looks like the excavation area. So you see these pits are absolutely empty, but at the back there, it looks like they've got some completed Terracotta Warriors. This area behind me here is where all the Terracotta Warriors are being restored. So at night, this is where the restorers and the archaeologists come together to actually fit them together like a jigsaw puzzle. And you can see when you look at their bodies, they've got gaps in them. So that's where the restorers are still currently working on them, fitting them together, making sure the correct pieces are going on the correct body. So when they actually come to start the restoration process, they get all the pieces they think corresponds to one warrior, put them in one place, and then they start from the feet upwards all the way to the top of the head. So that was pit number 1. We're now going to head over to pit number 3, which is on the right-hand side of pit number 1. So here's a quick little directions. So pit 3, where we're going, is that way. So pit 3 was actually found in May 1976 and was open to the public a few years after that. It's actually the smallest of the 3 pits. So this pit actually collapsed naturally. It wasn't set on fire like pit 1 or pit 2. We're just approaching it now. So the experts actually think that pit 3 is actually the headquarters of the Terracotta Army. And that's because the layout of pit number 3 is different than pit number 1 and pit number 2. And it's actually comprised of a north chamber, a south chamber, and a west chamber. This is where the officers and generals would have actually planned their battle strategies. They actually found a stable for a horse in here as well, which signifies that there was a high-ranking officers were based here. In pit 3, they found 68 Terracotta Warriors and 4 horses, which you can see just over by there. So you can actually see on these photographs here, the instant that they were discovered, you could still see the original paint on them. But unfortunately, as soon as the paint's exposed to the air, it goes back to its original terracotta colour. But yeah, that's how it would look when you first discover the Terracotta Warriors. So this is the south chamber, and there's 28 soldiers in this one. And they're facing each other because they're possibly having a conversation with each other. You can see in this chamber by here just how they were discovered, all crushed on the floor. So we decided to get our family portrait in front of some fake warriors. It cost 100 yuan, and they also used our phone to take some pictures as well as the official photo. If you wanted to just take your phone to take some pictures in there, it was 20 yuan per person, so that would have been 60. So for an additional 40, you get a real photo, and I used my phone as well to take our pictures. So that's the room that you have we just had our photo taken in. There's no filming allowed inside. That's why I'm going outside to do it, just so you can see what it's like. So we finished in pit 3 now, and now we're going to head over to pit 2. We've got to follow the sign so we know which direction it is, and it looks like it's straight ahead, this direction. Really sunny today as well. I believe the temperature is going to be 28 degrees today. So this is pit 2. It's the northeast of pit number 3. This pit's about 120 meters long and covers about 6,000 square meters. It's going to be the same structure in this one as it was in pit number 1. This pit was discovered in April 1976. There's 11 sloping roadways in this pit number 2. It's 124 meters long, 98 meters wide, and covers an area of 6,000 meters. There's 4 small battle configurations within this pit. So in this pit, they actually found a whole army, which consisted of regular soldiers, kneeling archers, and chariots. So although pit number 2 was discovered back in 1976, it actually hasn't been excavated yet, which is why it looks totally empty at the moment. But it's estimated that there's over 4,000 warriors buried underneath the ground just by there and all the way across. So when they finish excavating the other areas, they'll move on to pit number 2. So you can see actually there's a ladder here, shows just actually how deep the pits are. You don't really get the perspective from looking down. Right behind me here is probably one of the most famous figures of the whole of the complex. He's known as the seated archer, and it's one of the most intact pieces of all the Terracotta Warriors found so far. Crowds are really starting to come in now. Behind me here, they're actually excavating a high-ranking officer. So it's quite unusual to see him do this in the day. This normally takes place at night. So just like the photos before, this one shows what the colour of the armour was like on the Terracotta Warriors just as before they were exposed to the air. The reason why the kneeling archers are still remarkably intact is because they were shorter than all the other Terracotta Warriors in the pit. So when the roof actually collapsed, they didn't hit the kneeling archers at all, just the ones that were standing up. So pit 2 is a great example to show how these were discovered once they started to remove the topsoil and digging down. So if you look here, those lines, like the taller bits going along there, and there, that's the walls, and the bits that are indented like that, they're the areas where the Terracotta Warriors are still down below, haven't been uncovered yet. And if you look all the way along here, you can just see how many still haven't been dug up to be discovered and restored yet. So, like I mentioned earlier, they just do one section at a time. So they're obviously working over there at the moment, and then we'll gradually do each bit year after year, year after year, year after year, all the way along. So it's amazing to think that just under the ground here are hundreds or even thousands of Terracotta Warriors just waiting to be discovered. So you can see here the roof beams and how they're discovered. So you can tell it's organic matter by the brown on there. I think we're going to leave pit 2 now and try to find our way to the mausoleum. I think we've got to get a bus there, and I'm not sure where that goes from. So we'll go outside and see if we can see any signs. We're going to head towards the exhibition hall. Every time we come out from the dark interiors to the outside, we're just blinded by the sun. It's so bright, and it's actually getting really, really warm now as well, which makes such a nice change from when we were in Beijing a couple of days ago when it was freezing cold and fog and smog and mist everywhere, especially when we went to the Great Wall of China. So we're now going into the exhibition hall. Not actually sure what's in here, so we'll discover it together, shall we? What I forgot to point out earlier as well is, pretty obviously, this is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it has been for many years. So it's another one to add to the list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites that the 3 of us have been to. We think this is a crossbow mechanism, but and some little arrows. But just look at the detail of the top knot of the hair as well. And when you look at their hands, they've even got fingernails, so that's quite a good attention to detail. So look at these animals that they found, Holly. So they also found, what's that, swan, I take it? I think that's a swan. So in this exhibition hall, the audio guides don't work, so they're obviously not part of the audio guide system. And also there's no English translations on anything, so you can't 100% understand what everything is, but I think it's pretty straightforward where there's swans, herons, and clay pots. I think we know what they are. So we've decided to come back into pit 1 just to see how busy it is now compared with when we came earlier. So in the space of 2 hours, this area was almost empty when we arrived. Now look at it. It's absolutely packed with people. So we're going to leave, but my suggestion, if you are going to come to the Terracotta Warriors, make sure you're here for 8:30 in the morning. You can get to that section there if you're one of the first people to arrive and have a great view and able to take some photos in relative quietness. What we're going to do now is go out of the gates here, head back down the way we came to the main entrance and catch a shuttle bus to the mausoleum area. The shuttle bus is included in the price, so there's no additional cost. Once you paid for your tickets to come to the whole of the Terracotta Warrior site, the shuttle bus is included. In the mausoleum, I believe that's where a lot of real bodies were buried. And there's also the bronze carriage as well with the horses, which is extremely famous. And if you've seen the film The Mummy, Curse of the Emperor's Tomb, those are the horses that come alive and run through the center of China. So it's now 11 o'clock in the morning. So we spent 2.5 hours here, and I don't know how that time has just flown. In fact, shall we have a look at the souvenir shop? This way. I think we're going to have a quick look in the souvenir shop. No, we're not, are we? Oh, it's a restaurant. So we just bought some flavoured ice creams from the shop. 2 strawberries, 1 for me and Holly, and 1 chocolate for Matthew. And they were 20 yuan each, so that's about £2 each. And that's what they look like. So Holly's got her Terracotta Warrior ice cream, and so has Matthew. Let's try it, shall we? It's like a milkshake, frozen milkshake. Before we head to the mausoleum site, we need to return our audio guides so we get our deposits back. Deposit for each one, I think, was 100 yuan, which is £10 each.
Here.
Where, sorry? Over that way. So deposit will be refunded when you wait. Okay. Take these that way. Okay. So you don't return them the same place that you pick them up. You have to walk another 200 meters out of the area back to the way we originally came, and then we get our deposits back there. So that's it. We've left the main area of the tombs where all the Terracotta Warriors are, with pit 1, pit 2, pit 3 and the exhibition hall. We're now walking down this pathway to get our deposits back for the audio guides. I'm not sure actually if you're allowed re-entry or not. I don't think we'll try that. Well, we might try that after we've done the mausoleum and we've still got spare time to look around. We might try to come back and have a look in the pits again, just to waste some time. But what we're going to do now, drop off the audio guides and then catch the shuttle bus to the mausoleum area. The mausoleum area is actually near the pyramid where the emperor is buried. They still haven't even opened that pyramid. Well, I say pyramid, it's a dirt mound shaped a bit like a pyramid. And to this day, they still haven't even opened it because they're basically too scared to open it at the moment because they don't have the technology to actually keep the place safe, and they're worried it will destroy all the emperor's relics inside. There's also rumours that it's full of mercury, so the mercury would flow along the ground to look like rivers, and a jewel-encrusted ceiling as well to replicate the stars. It's meant to be really fabulous looking inside based on all the legends. There's been legends going back a couple of thousand years if that's where he was buried, but up until the Terracotta Warriors were discovered, they were only legends, but now they've discovered the Terracotta Warriors in this area. It's obviously a reality. That's where the Emperor's final resting place and where he's buried. So we've just had our money refunded. We're just waiting for it to pop up because nothing's happened just yet. There's even a McDonald's here. Maybe we could get lunch there. crazy just how many restaurants and souvenir shops and street food hawkers are everywhere. We've been walking now for at least a couple of 100 meters and they're absolutely everywhere. But I guess this is one of the biggest tourist sites in the whole of China and probably the world. So there's a lot of business to be made if you've got a stall here, I guess. As well as all the local stuff, we've also passed Starbucks, KFC, Pizza Hut and a McDonald's. We've come back to the main entrance where we actually entered the park this morning. Ahead of us here is a shuttle bus that's going to take us to the mausoleum section. We've got to show our tickets, which in this case is our passports, to be able to do it. It's all included in the price of admission. We've made it onto the bus, which is going to Xi'an Park, which is where the mausoleum is. And it's a bit of a good sign. The bus isn't very busy, so that might mean the mausoleum site itself might not be very busy as well. Maybe just everybody comes here just for the Terracotta Warriors and then leaves. But I guess we'll find out when we get there. I spoke too soon. It's starting to fill up now. We're going to assume that this is the entrance area to the mausoleum. Can't see any signs, and nobody's really walking to here, just people walking out. So it looks like we take another golf cart to this place. This one was 15 yuan per person. So a bit more than the previous one, which was 5 yuan per person. So I don't know how far it is on this one. I'm going to assume it's further, the fact that it's 3 times the cost of the original one we took at the Terracotta Warriors. We've actually been stopped for about 5 minutes. A woman jumped out into the middle of the road waving, and now the driver's stopped. And we're not going anywhere. And the woman who came out waving her hands are now just on sit down and doing not much. Don't know what's happening. And we're moving again. So we've made it to the mausoleum site. That journey on the electric golf cart was a lot longer than the previous one we took to the Terracotta Warriors. Probably a good 5, 6, maybe even 7 minutes to get here. And it covered quite a distance, so I wouldn't fancy walking here in this heat. So I guess we're going to have to pay again to go back down later as well. So there is the burial mound itself. So underneath there That's where the emperor is buried. The next exhibit we're going to see is the bronze chariots, which is one of the reasons we came to this mausoleum site in the first place. Hopefully it's going to look absolutely stunning. You'll soon see. So this is Chariot 1 and it says there it's a replica. So we're going to go and search for the originals if we can find it. I'm assuming that the originals will be in here somewhere. And the one behind me here is Carriage 2, and this is also a replica as well. So we're going to carry on walking and try and find the originals. Yeah?
Yeah.
So this pit behind me here is just a simulation of the excavation site. So this is what it looked like when they first discovered it. So, oh, it looks like they're actually got an overlay showing it being dug. So all the items on display here as well, see replicas underneath them. Oh, and we're just above where we were then. Hold on. There we go. So we're the next floor up. So we've got some bronze whips, I assume, to hit the horses. We're not sure if this is going to work or not, but we're going to try and go back in to the main site and get the golf cart back up to the very top main entrance, because there was a McDonald's there. We're going to go for lunch. We could walk all the way back up on foot. That'll probably take about 15 minutes, which if we're not allowed readmittance, that's what we're going to have to do. But we might as well try. And for 5 yuan to actually get the golf cart, 50p to save walking 15 minutes, I'll happily pay it in this heat if I'm honest. Like I suspected, you can only enter the park once. So our tickets were refused and we've had to walk away. So now what we're going to do is walk all the way back through that food village, right to the very top in the main entrance, and go to the McDonald's, which is right at the very top. And it's so hot. And I know we shouldn't be getting this kind of food while we're in China, but we can't help it. Let's see what we want, shall we? I want things which are not in the UK. There's chicken on that, Holly. So here we go. Holly's got her usual chicken nuggets. Matthew has got a sausage and a beef burger combined, which we don't have back home. Let's have a look, open it. Let's have a look what it looks like. Ooh. And I've just gone for like a BLT double burger. And this came to 159 yuan, which is around £16.50. So pretty pricey for food that we've done so far. And we've also got some ice creams as well. Matthew has got a chocolate brownie McFlurry, Holly has got a strawberry sundae, and I have gone for a strawberry McFlurry with some chocolate on top. And this came to $48.50, which is around £5. So actually more expensive than there is back home. We finished the McDonald's. What I think we're going to do now is head back to the main entrance by the road where we've started first thing this morning and call ourselves a DiDi to take us back to the hotel in Xi'an. There are a lot of taxis outside already, but I'm a bit worried about getting one off the street in case they try to rip us off. So at least with DiDi, like Uber, you can see how much you're going to pay in advance, and then it's taken directly from my Alipay account, which is really convenient. Okay, we're in the taxi. Probably take about an hour to get back to our hotel in Xi'an. Maybe a little bit over that because it might be a little bit busy now. The time is 3 o'clock exactly. So we've been here since just after it, well, 8:30 we arrived. So it's been a long day, even though it's still only 3 o'clock. But we did have a great time at the Terracotta Warriors. It's one of those sites that I've been wanting to see for many, many years. And I'm glad we visited. To accompany our epic China trip videos that we're playing on YouTube, I've created a PDF guide to everything China. It shows all the hotels we've stayed in, the attractions we've visited, and where we got our tickets from. You can download this totally free PDF guide in the link in the description below. Just past the bell tower, so that means we're almost at our hotel. Total time to get from the Terracotta Warriors to here is 1 hour and 5 minutes. So the total cost of that taxi, including the tolls, was just over, slightly over 150 yuan, which is about £15–16, which I think, considering it was over an hour's journey and about, what, 50 kilometers, that's a really good value for money. Anyway, we're thirsty. We're going to go into 7-Eleven and find ourselves a drink. So Holly's seen some strawberries.
It's 100% something.
So 100% strawberry juice, maybe. I'm going to get myself a blueberry. And let's see what Matthew wants. So we have got a Pepsi, a strawberry juice, a blueberry juice, and some flavoured water, which looks like lime flavoured.
And some Pepsi.
We'll have a look for some sweets as well, I think. So we've got some sweets, we've got some drinks. Shall we go back to the room? Shay, thank you. Okay. Joined in the lift by a robot, Holly. Well, that was interesting. We got joined in the lift by a robot. What you find in a lot of these Chinese hotels, they have robots to take room service to people's rooms, but you'd be worth ordering room service one day just to get that to deliver it. Anyway, we're back in our room now. It was so warm outside. There's not really any air conditioning in these hotels as well. It has got a thermostat, and I have put it on as cool as I possibly could earlier. So it's set to 16 degrees. But it's just not working properly. So what we're going to do now, we're going to settle in and just relax for 2 or 3 hours. Drink those drinks, have some strawberries. We actually bought some strawberries as well after we went to 7-Eleven, Holly's favourite fruit. And about 3 hours time, we'll head back out to Xi'an, have a look around and get some dinner. We might go back to the Muslim Quarter where we were last night to get some meat on a stick, but we also might explore some other areas and have some traditional noodles. I've got my eyes set on biang biang mian noodles, which are really big fat noodles with beef, but we'll see later. Anyway, see you guys when we finish relaxing here in the room. It's just after 7 o'clock, so we've come back out of the hotel and now we're going to search around Xi'an for something to eat. So just like yesterday, we're going to walk straight past the famous Xi'an bell tower. It's in the center of a roundabout. There's actually hundreds of cars rotating around it continuously. When we're driving on it earlier, coming back from the Terracotta Warriors, I'm just amazed that there isn't any more accidents here because they're just coming from all directions. You can hear all the horns beeping as well. There seems to be no rhyme or reason for how to enter it and how to leave it. But surprisingly, in the 2 nights we've been here so far, we haven't seen anybody have an accident on the roads, which is a bit shocking, really, when you see all this going on. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go underneath the road in that direction via the subway to find some places to eat across over there. We're going to head towards the Muslim Quarter again for the snack street, but we're also looking for something a bit different tonight. Probably some noodle stalls to find something that's really tasty for the evening. We've got ourselves the Chinese hamburgers again, otherwise known as Rotianmu. I think that's how you pronounce it, but I'm probably completely wrong. Rotianmu, or something like that. So Holly's got one, Matthew's got one, and I'll just have some of each of theirs, I think. Holly's kindly left me some. And it tastes really good. Though we've just come into the traditional noodle restaurant, I've gone for the mutton soup with pita bread. So this is where you break up all the little bits of pita bread into small pieces and it soaks up the mutton soup. I think because I'm a tourist, they haven't actually given me the pita bread to break up myself. I imagine they're going to do that for me because they probably don't think I know that I need to break up that pita bread. Anyway, it's cost 38 yuan. They've given me this token, so I'm assuming they're going to come round with the soup, see this token, and then take it off me. So just so they know who ordered the mutton soup. If I'm honest, I might not like it. It's just one of those traditional Xi'an delicacies you should try when you come to Xi'an in China. So when your order's ready, it sounds like they're calling out the number, but I have no idea what 402 is in Chinese, so I think everybody who shouts out a number, I'm just going to wave that in front of them and see if it's mine. But they might have just realised that obviously we're not going to know what the number is. If I'm honest, we're the only Westerners in this restaurant, so they might just bring it over for us anyway. Che, thank you. Okay. See, we can all have some if you want.
Yeah.
This is what the mutton soup looks like with pita bread. It looks really nice. We'll try it in a sec. And we've got some little bowls and straws as well. So I think I'm going to try this now as well. There's also got some rice noodles in there as well. So Holly doesn't want to try it, but I'm going to try it. Okay.
I've already tried, so it's quite nice.
The pita bread has soaked up all the soup broth. Well, that's pretty nice. I'll try a bit of the meat to see what that is like. There's a big piece of lamb here. Okay, the lamb is really tender. Probably because it's been boiled for a few hours, I'd imagine, but that tastes good. You see all the rice noodles as well in there. Yeah, that tastes quite good. So we got a really big piece of mutton here. Yeah, that's good. What it reminds me of, at least the mutton, is when you have a braised leg of lamb, like really moist, really succulent, and just falling apart in your mouth every time you take a bite. That's good. Now let's use a spoon. Try a bit of broth with the pita bread. Cliche. Thank you. So, I don't know. So they've just brought more bowls of soup for us, which I haven't ordered. So I guess you pour it over it maybe to add more broth. So I'm not sure exactly. So a lot of pita in this one, and noodles. Hot as well. No, not very hot. I think Matthew wants some more. So you can see it's full of rice noodles as well. There's absolutely loads of them. At the moment, it's absolutely boiling hot though, so I'm trying my best not to burn my mouth or my tongue. So they brought us a couple of bowls as well of this soup. I think this is just the broth that goes in the main dish. So I'll pour a little bit more in to make it a bit more soupy. Like, it tastes really good, but after a while, it's very same old, same old. So it's just very stodgy with all the pita bread and the broth. And the mutton's gone already because we all had a bit of the mutton. And now I'm just getting a bit bored of it, if I'm honest. I'll keep eating it because I never waste food. But yeah, it's just very stodgy with all the pita bread broken up and soaked in all the broth. We've still got 2 bowls of broth left as well that we're not going to eat. If I just make a good dent in this bowl, then I think we'll go and probably get some ice cream, I think, just to cleanse our palate after having this soup. So you can see on the table just behind us, that lady's breaking up the pita bread herself, because that's what you're meant to do. But like I mentioned, because we're the foreigners, they probably didn't realize that I knew to do that, which is why they did it for me. I think I'm going to finish eating this now. I couldn't manage to eat it all. Like I said, it was getting a bit same old, but I've done a big dent in it, so that's not too bad. What we're going to do now, leave this restaurant and get some ice cream. Everybody wants ice cream. And I can see the same ice cream stall we went to last night. And because it tasted so nice, we're going to go to the same one again. And probably have the same flavors. You're getting blueberry. What do you want? Oreo again? Had exactly the same issue tonight as I had last night when I shopped at this same place. Basically, it's saying it's an insecure transaction and I need to appeal it. So I'm going to appeal it straight away now. This is by Alipay. Last night it only took about 15 minutes to appeal and I could start using my card again. Thank you. So if you saw the last episode of us here in Xi'an, you'll know that when I went to that same ice cream shop yesterday, I had the exactly same issue with Alipay. I haven't had that problem any other vendor at all on this entire trip yet. And I've probably used it close to 100 times already, which is a bit ridiculous, but I have. Yesterday, it was quite easy to resolve. All I had to do was take a picture of my credit card, which I'm charging Alipay to, and do my full name. And it was actually resolved within about 15 to 30 minutes. But then, when I went to appeal it, there was a lot more information that was required. So as well as my full name, photographs of the credit card, back and front, they also wanted to know all my full contact details and a scan of my credit card statement to show all the latest transactions that I've taken in the last few days. I had to do some print screens from my credit card app for that. And I've sent it back to them now. I'm hoping it'll get resolved because, like I said, we're using Alipay for absolutely everything here at the moment. It would be difficult to do what we're doing without using Alipay. All you do is just scan a QR code, comes out off my card virtually instantly. Lots of people, they have to accept cash, but they don't have change. So I just paid in cash then, but I've always got some on me just in case. But lots of places, for example, all the banknotes I came to China with were 100 yuan notes. So if I went to buy something for 5 yuan, people wouldn't have 95 yuan in change anymore because nobody in China uses cash anymore. So I'm hoping this appeal will get resolved very quickly because on the way back, we're going to be walking back to the hotel now. There's a shop where Holly had some squeezed lemonade yesterday that was really delicious and she wants it again tonight. So if I can't pay with my Alipay for that, that's almost coming out of an automatic vending machine, which she's not going to be able to have that lemonade, which she really, really wants. So I've submitted all my supporting documents, photographs of my credit card, photographs of my credit card statement, my full name, my contact details, my address, etc. Now it says it's under review and it can take 1 working day, which we need it to happen in the next 15 minutes or so. And then tomorrow, we definitely need it to work. And for the rest of the trip, we need it to work. So we're keeping everything crossed. They're even shorter than you, Holly.
It's leaning back.
Well, I think we're going to head back to the hotel now and get to bed. Hopefully along the way, my Alipay is going to be reinstated so we can get Holly that lemonade that she wanted. So I think we're going to end this episode here. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. It's really appreciated. If you're new here, my name is Mark, and along with my daughter Holly, son Matthew, we make travel and theme park videos from around the world. And all that's left to do is Holly with a special message.
If you like this video, please remember to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, we have it. Yeah. So it's going to be coming. Never coming over now.
Next time on Travelshorts' epic China trip.